What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about the second banner that is going to be released today, Romancing Festival Labelle. Labelle is an utility character that can create damage block. Tatiana is a character that can debuff and has multiple chase mechanics. Gustav is a damage dealer with very high damage. Well, let's go straight to Reddit in a post by Hands43. The second video was released, and we have all the information saved for the status correction, but we can check those in rsdb.com. So Tatiana has an increase in her STR. It's now 103%, not very big difference, but they buffed her endurance from 50% now becoming 70%. That's really good. Her intelligence was even buffed from 102% to 110%. That's like mage levels of intelligence, and her agility was slightly buffed too. That's nice because Tatiana can be used on Remembrance, but also in hard challenges. Her will was also buffed, so that's also very nice. Moving on to what they changed. Her first passive, she had only one chance to chase. Well, that was 50% chance to chase with her skill number 1. Now she has 50% chance to chase with skill number 1, and then 37% chance to chase with skill number 2, and then 25% chance to chase with skill number 3. All can happen at once, only one or any, so it's an interesting thing. But, well, Tatiana does not have any damage increase passive. She does have this very small recover when she attacks, that should be around 200, and she also buffs her STR by 15%. So the more changes you get, the more you'll be healed, the more you buff your STR, increasing the damage output. She also has Armor Defense 6 that decreases damage taken by 40%. That's nice because many characters have intrinsic passives where they had to resist damage in order to reduce. So back to original stuff where you always reduce damage by 40%. But what are the skills that she has access to? Skill number 1 is a 3BP fully AoE attack that has a chance to debuff STR by 15% on max level. Well, STR debuffs are plenty in the game, but that's pretty cheap, she can use it anytime. Skill number 2 is a 6BP one that this time debuffs STR and Dexterity by 20% on max level. That's pretty nice to have two different debuff status with 6BP and on 20%. Then the third one is double S attack with 9 BP cost. This time it's Column, and this time it's Blunt and Cold. And it also has a chance to decrease STR and Dexterity, this time by up to 30% on max level. So for 90 BP, may seem a little high, and there's only one problem with this character. She needed a passive to get BP back when she chases, so that she could actually rotate the skills when she actually wants. But here you will have to rely on RNG. The good thing is that you can at least debuff STR all the time. So she seems to be designed for boss fights that uses physical attacks, and then sometimes you also debuff Dexterity in order to evade. But as a main Dexterity debuffer, she may fail sometimes because when you look on this, 6 BP means that she has to use this skill, then normal attack, and then go back to the skill to guarantee a Dexterity debuff. Or else you will have to rely on a 37% chance to activate skill number 2, or 25% chance to activate skill number 3. Well, on average, you get at least one chase most of the time, but you don't know which one will land, so there's lots of RNG. But for Remembrance, she works pretty well because she's pretty defensive with Armor Defense 6. Her past version from Halloween is a better damage dealer, but you can also inherit skills from that one if you want. But I think that this one works as it is. There's no need for inheritance. Although I don't think that the value is too high. As a blunt damage dealer, she's not something that you'll be using in normal hard challenges. She's only made for Remembrance in situations where STR and Dexterity debuffs are needed. Those will not be so plenty, but I do remember being interesting to use this on a boss fight just before you fight the Egg, one of the monsters that you have to fight. The Tone Lord, for example, if you remember that fight. Moving on, we have Labelle, and this character here is pretty interesting. She has a very nice style after this one from JP. And well, they really did buff Labelle. You can see here on rsdb.com, a little more endurance, a little more will, and a little more intelligence. She's a hybrid unit. She requires a wind bow to perform on full potential. Well, they also buffer her passives. The first one was only 2 BP when she attacks, and it's now also a recover of around 200. Then the second one, on the end of a turn, she increases her own OD gauge by 25 points. That was buffed as well. And when she attacks with any of her attack or spell, she has a 50% chance to activate skill number 1. Skill number 1, it's interesting, but more into that later. There is also High Protect Tension, giving her 20% damage increase and 30% damage reduction. That's her only way to increase her damage output. 30% damage reduction is more than enough in most situations. But skill number 1 is her selling point for 2 BP, and that means that she can use this anytime she wants, because she recovers 2 when she attacks, and that will still give you 3 extra. It's a single target attack with Slash and Cold, and has a 25% chance to grant her a damage block. Damage block has no turn limit, so you can stack this and she would just keep blocking damage. And it will also give her a very small heal that should be around 200. So that is the skill that you have the chance to chase with. So you can use this attack and it can even trigger itself again, so you have a chance to keep stacking damage blocks. But again, it's an attack that only has 25% chance to trigger the additional effect. Even with the chase mechanic, it may not happen as often. Skill number 2 is a 5 BP fully attack with the power, and this time it's a bow skill. And it has a chance to debuff intelligence by 20% when the attack lands. Good thing, she can use this as much as she wants, can use it on single targets or full AoE. 20% is a very good value when required. The third skill is a single target SSS spell, just like the first, that is also Slash and Cold. Before she attacks, she buffs her intelligence by up to 30%. That's interesting because it will feel like a 4S attack, but a 4S attack in a character without much damage passives, so that's still good enough for 9 BP, right? And if you are on overdrive, when you attack, she will always chase with skill number 1. So you can even trigger 2 skill number 1s because you get 1 as a guarantee, and then you have 50% chance to chase both attacks with another skill number 1. So she is always trying to stack damage blocks, and well, how good that can be. This character can be used as an intelligence debuffer where we have plenty, or as a character that can keep trying to apply damage block in order to tank. But you have to use her on a Rising Phoenix X formation, trying to draw more enemy attacks. That formation also increases intelligence of the tank slot. But I have to say that we have Melissa, and she self-buffs a lot, also buffs the party, has much more utility in the long run than Labelle. But next version of Labelle is interesting. She has a skill that can be used once and fills the overdrive gauge of the party. But that's pretty far. I don't know if you will be using this style. More on Remembrance than anything else. Then the next one is Gustav, and, well, they buffed his status as well. Well, since he's a farmer, they only focus it on the STR and agility. He now has the highest STR in the game with 120% and 106% agility, so that's actually pretty nice. He didn't change much when you see the passives. He gets a 50% damage increase that lasts for only 1 turn on the start of a round. He starts the fight with 13 BP, and his attack is increased by 15% when HP is full. Then he has Fired Up 7, that means that he has 105% damage increase on the start of each round. Skill number 1 is a power attack with 3 BP cost. That's amazing, but he's not going to use that often. The second skill is an 8 BP column attack with double S power. That's pretty similar to Gustave version, but it adds heat damage as well. And he has much better damage passives. He can solo some events by using this twice. He can, because he starts with 13 BP. So he's pretty similar to Leonard, but Leonard also works in story, while this guy will be working more on events, because he cannot attack 3 times with the same skill. And in events, you can also just open with this 4S attack with 13 BP cost. That's really strong. So you can kill an enemy, and then he still helps a little on the second wave. But that's about it. He is just pure damage, strong. Reminds me a little of Soji, but there's nothing else. Well, he cannot be used on Remembrance, and I don't think he's such a good investment as characters like, for example, Silver, that has a chase mechanic right on start with the attack that also does similar damage to 4S, so she can actually be used on farming and on remembrance. But if you like Gustav, he's going to do plenty of damage and he is strong for slash and heat. But to be honest, this banner is really skippable. This character is just damage, it's focusing on just one type of content. Then Labelle is an interesting design that does not fit the current meta because characters that we have right now are have more utility. And in the end, Tatiana is a character that tries to apply debuffs when debuffs are not as useful as before. So you'll find alternatives if you need to debuff this status. And, well, sadly, the value of this banner is pretty low. I will only be giving this a bronze award, and all these characters will only see an SS plus grade and most. So, if you like the characters, okay, but if you are here for value, it's better to skip. But that's my opinion. What is yours? Please see here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. Bye.